Hey everyone, Alice here with a different kind of video. Not really reading. We'll see. Maybe we'll do a reading at the end. I thought I would just talk about the Stranger Things tarot deck. It just came out. I just got it. I got it in pre-order and I have a lot of things to say about it. So I thought, why don't I just review the deck here and, kind of get it all out on what I think about this deck. Because, I actually have a lot of thoughts about this, more than other decks. Usually I just buy decks and I either like it or I don't, or they're okay and all that. I have mixed feelings about this deck, to be honest. So this is a review of this deck. If you want a 4K, let me see all the cards. I just want to see what the cards look like. I'm sure there are videos out there that you can just, if you just want to see what the cards look like, go for it. But I'm going to be talking about the deck and if I think it's a good deck for beginners, or if I just think it's a good deck overall, like for my uses and everything like that. I have used a number of decks, and surprisingly, and yeah, Stranger Things. So first of all, Stranger Things. I'm gonna say now, if you don't like Stranger Things, then why do you have the deck? But also, if you haven't watched Stranger Things, I'm gonna say you're probably gonna have a hard time using the deck, which I don't normally say. Like, there are all sorts of theme decks out there, and you can use them just fine without like having a lot of knowledge about the source of it. I mean, I don't know. I don't own any of the like Labyrinth deck or like the Game of Thrones deck that's out, or Supernatural or anything, because I just don't have them. So this is kind of like the first deck that I have that is like dedicated to like an IP, sort of. Like, I mean, I have Disney decks, but they're just Disney decks. Everybody knows Disney, or most people do. But yeah, if you don't know this, like if you're not like a fan of Stranger Things, I feel like you will have a difficult time. You can learn it, but a lot of the meanings, at least on the cards, seem to have to do with things that happened in the show. And even like when I was going through the deck the first time, there were some I was like, I don't understand, why would they put this imagery here? And then like I would read about it and then I think about it and I'm like, no, okay, I get it. And some of them I got right away, but I was like, well, I only know this because of my knowledge of the show, what they mean by this picture. Well, I'll show you some examples of that. So yeah, but I'll get into that. I don't know. I don't really think this is a beginner friendly deck, only because they changed the suits and everything. So anyways, okay, well, I'll talk about all that. So this is the box, whatever. I'm not going to spend too much time with the box and all that. There's lots of videos people wanting to show you the box and what's in the box. What's in the box? Oh my god, I just watched Seven recently. Well, I don't know why I put myself through it. I watched it. What's in the box? So yeah, you got this. It comes with a guidebook. I would say I don't mind the sort of aesthetic here. It's like kind of old ripped thing. I will say it gets to me. I've noticed as I'm shuffling, because I keep doing like this. It's on the cards too, and I think that there's something on the cards, but there isn't. I would say it's not like there's not a lot in here, but there's enough. I think there's enough for me. I like that there are full color pictures, which is nice. I like that the descriptions are pretty short. They're not fucking like a novel long. I mean, for me, I don't need that. I think it's funny how it refers to reverse as upside down. I mean, that's kind of cute. There's a couple spreads here in the back. I like the spreads. They're nice. Thematic, I guess. I like the flavor text. I'm gonna say that if you're a fan of Stranger Things, there's a lot of flavor text in there, like callbacks to the show, like, hey, don't be like a Dustin, or don't be like Mike, and all that. So I do kind of like the callbacks. I mean, they could be better. Box is nothing really special. It's got the little thing in here. I will say, I think mine is a little long. See, like, this is like really long. Because when I put the cards in and then I fold it over, there's like a lot hanging over. I don't know. The ribbon's really long in my deck. I don't know. I don't know if that's like just me or whatever. Anyways, box isn't that interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna go through the cards here. Not all of them are super interesting, but we'll get to them. I will give you my review of these cards. Again, if you want a 4K and you want to be able to see these cards really well, tons of videos out there for that. But I'm here as a fan of Stranger Things. Like, I watched all this shit. I rewatched it. Like, I really like Stranger Things. I don't care what you say. I like Stranger Things. There are some surprises in here for me as a fan of the deck. And I know Netflix and Stranger Things, they make Stranger Things products out of anything. Like, just go to Target, any Target, there's like a Stranger Things section where you can get anything Stranger Things. Like, they just slap that shit on everything. Anyways, let's talk about the cards. Now, I'll start with the Major Arcana. I do really like the Major Arcana. But like I said, so there's some things. So we have Will here as the Fool. It makes sense. I'm not going to go over the reasons, like the descriptions. There are just certain things that I would like to talk about. This, I like that. Makes sense. We have Bob as the Magician. I'm surprised there's like I thought there would just be one Bob. There's like more than one Bob in here, which is surprising. I mean, I like Bob, but it's just surprising. The Magician, I thought, didn't really make a whole lot of sense to me at first. I was like, oh, okay. But, I mean, it's about some, like, he does, like, this is the scene where Joyce is trying to, like, figure out all of Will's, like, crazy like, it's like a... Okay, spoilers. I can't do this review without spoiling Stranger Things. So, like, I'm sorry. I mean, I can't. So... So when he's drawing all the drawings and, you know, she can't figure out what the hell they all mean, she knows they connect somewhere, and then Bob's there and he figures it out. I mean, I guess because he uses his tools and his brain. I don't know. It's a bit of a stretch for me, but I understand. I like 11 here as the High Priestess. This is all about how she uses her psychic abilities. She uses her mind to go to other worlds, to the upside down and all that. This makes a lot of sense to me and I really like it. And we have Joyce here as the Empress Queen. But this is the only Joyce in here. I was hoping for more, but it's the only Joyce in this deck, which is kind of sad. Which is even sadder, which is a travesty, is that there is only one Hopper, and this is the only Hop in this deck. Unless you want to count his hand, which I don't count, or his car, which I don't count. I'm just disappointed, you know. Mornings are for coffee and contemplation, but I mean, they make sense, Emperor and Empress, and I like that, you know, divine couple and, you know, divine couple on the show. It's really nice. This was surprising seeing Murray as the Hierophant, but I'm like, yeah, it totally makes sense. You know, he is kind of, you know, he's always kind of bringing people together, trying, you know, he's like, just fucking, like, there's sexual tension, you like each other, just like get it over with. So I mean, I get it. So I like that, you know. And they come to him a lot of times, the characters, for advice, you know, on what the hell, like, what do we do? This is cute. We have the lovers. We have 11 and Mike at the snowball. Yes, that is the only appropriate scene for that, obviously. Here's the chariot. This is what I mean. Okay, Hop's car, great. I mean, I like it, but could we have Hop, please? This is one of my favorites. Is Max strength card. See, okay, while I was going through the deck, I was like, oh, like Max is strength. Okay, yeah, I get that, like, especially because of the most recent season, because she played a really big part in that season. And I was like, yeah, strength, totally. You know, because strength is all about inner strength. It's not about how strong you are physically. It's about, you know, your inner strength. And here, she's in the arcade, which is like one of the first places that you meet her. And I mean, it's all about here how she used to be, you know, top of the scoreboard and everything. She had a lot of confidence, but as the show's gone on and as she's gone through some shit, she's, you know, she's lost that confidence. She's doubted herself. She's been uncertain, and I really like that. The Hermit, we have 11 here. Is another 11 card. Yeah, you know, this is about her when she is in the, was it the sensory deprivation chamber or whatever. You know, she's all alone in there. It's just her. Yeah, get it? This is weird. This is like one of the weird ones where I was like, what? Okay, I get it. Egos are round, so cute. Card's kind of weird though. But I mean, I like it. It's just, it was weird, and I was like, what does this have to do? I'm like, oh, it's just because egos are round. Okay, fine. Justice, having Nancy Wheeler's Justice makes a whole lot of sense. She's very like righteous. She wants things to, you know, she wants things to be fair, especially when it comes to her. But she's always out for the truth, right? She wants to be a reporter. She wants to find the truth. It makes a lot of sense. Hanged Man. Okay, I mean, I get it. I like the Will card here. Also, there's a lot of Will in this deck, which I was surprised about. I didn't think that there would be as much Will. There's also a lot of Nancy too. I would say the most people in this deck are Will, Nancy, Steve, and Erica, which is weird. The Hangman here, I do find it a little confusing in practice because usually the Hangman is upside down like that. So when the card is upside down, it looks upright because usually the Hangman is upside down when he's upright. So it can be confusing like in practice because he's actually upright here. Knowing that, I know that I didn't know that they put some season 4 stuff in this deck. I thought it was made before it and they weren't going to put anything of that in it. And so I was like, oh okay. I didn't know that, but after, when I realized, I was like, okay, so I would have liked this to be Max. You know, when she's, you know, it's hanging there. It's a very, you know, iconic sort of scene now in the show. But I understand the meaning behind Will, because this is about him being stuck in limbo in the upside down, like for the entirety of season 1. I will say about there are some season 4 things in here. There are some disappointments, and I'm going to talk about that after we get through the major arcana, because missed opportunities. So many missed opportunities. Okay, we have Death here. We have Barb here. It's kind of creepy though with the skeleton coming out. I was like, oh, okay. I don't remember that in the scene. Was it? I don't remember it, but yeah, maybe in a flashback or something. But yes, this is very appropriate. We have Mike as Temperance, which I thought was a choice. This is a choice. When I think of Temperance, I do not think of Mike. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really think of Mike as Temperance. I don't even remember what the meaning behind it, like however way they tried to spin this. This is one of the ones that just kind of, I'm like, I guess it could be. I think it has something to do with like how he's cool under pressure or something. And I'm like, is he? Is he though? I don't know. The Devil, we have the scientists at Hopkins lab, which I think is appropriate because these are people that are trying to, you know, their hubris kind of gets ahead of them. You know, they think that they know what they're doing. Like, you know, I get it. They're the bad guys. They're the bad guys. We have the devil, bad guys, devil. Like the bad guys that, you know that they're bad guys. Like they know that what they're doing, that they shouldn't be doing. The Tower, we have I guess it, what you want to call it, what is it called, the gate or whatever. It's the one in Hopkins from season 2 I think. Yeah, I don't know the seasons, but yeah, I mean, this makes sense because it all went to shit. You know, it was just a little tiny hole. They're like, no big deal, and then it got bigger and bigger, and then it was like, holy shit, we got a problem here. We have Lucas here with the star. I mean, it's a bit of a stretch in the explanation, but I mean, I'm glad that they have Lucas. This is the one and only Lucas. How is there more Erica than Lucas? Like, explain that to me. I have no idea. I have no idea why there's more Erica than Lucas in this deck. This is all about how he, you know, when he gets inspiration for the fireworks, and I guess this is season 3, right? and you know, he puts his mind to it. He's like, yeah, we can do this. And I guess also with the slingshot there, like, you know, he believes in these things that, you know, we can do this. So he has a lot of belief, and he's very optimistic in his beliefs. And I'm like, okay, I get that about Lucas. Okay, so we have the moon here. This is 11 again, but this is when she went off to go find herself. I kind of think it's funny that the deck kind of is making fun of the little detour that 11 took that I don't think a lot of people really liked. Like, it's a weak point in the show, I would say. I mean, it's necessary, but I feel like the story kind of, you know, it felt a little filler type of kind of content. I don't know. It's a little bit of a weak point here, but it's, you know, about how sometimes you go off the path, you get lost, and, you know, she got lost and she had to go find herself, and so, okay, fine. We have Dustin as the sun. I like this as Dustin as the sun. It's the only card of Dustin in here, which is like, again, a travesty. But I do like that he has the sun here, because yes, when Dustin's on screen, you know, it's just, you're just happy, right? You're just happy because he seems to, like, he's such a happy character most of the time, even when like shit is going down. He's always like, yeah, you know, he's the whatever you call it, comic relief a lot of times, and especially like when he and Steve, you know, get together and all that. You know, a lot of their sort of adventures kind of lightened the mood of the story a bit. Now, this is one of my favorite ones too. Billy as Judgment is perfect. It's perfect. I mean, but it's only perfect if you fucking know the show, right? Because like, you're like, who's that guy? It's like, oh, Billy, yeah, wasn't he like the brother or something, and he died or whatever? And like, yeah, but I mean his journey on this show, I mean, especially at the end, like, spoilers obviously, but you know, it's all about, you know, learning from your mistakes. I mean, I love in the background, you can see, you know, his memories there, when 11 was in his memories and saw him on the beaches in California with his surfboard there as a kid, and you can see the ocean there. So you know, it's about like, he's gone through a journey and he's had to learn some lessons and he's had to face judgment. And, you know, did he pass judgment? I think he did. He did, because he saved 11, right? I mean, spoilers, but whatever. I think that's one of my favorite. And then we have the world. We have Hop and 11 like reuniting, coming to the end of a journey. I half wondered about this, if this was like the end of the show kind of thing, because from what I know, the Duffer Brothers, when they wrote season 4, like they wrote season 4 and 5 at the same time during like lockdown and stuff. So since there's season 4 stuff in here, I don't know, like I don't know how much was given. Okay, so we're at the end of Major Arcana. Let's talk about the travesties. 1, no Eddie. 2, no Vecna. What the fuck? What the fuck? I mean, you might just be like, okay, well, Alice, you can't tell, like, there's nothing really season 4 here to tell me that any of this is season 4, so, you know, maybe they just didn't. I'm like, yeah, okay, fine. But as I went through the deck, there are season 4 characters, and like, there's no Vecna or Eddie, and I'm just very, very sad about that. They could have put him in somewhere. They could have put both of them in somewhere. I mean, okay, I guess it's a bit of spoilers to put Vecna as like the devil, but he would have been perfect for the devil. Eddie, you know, he could have been, I don't want to take the magician away from Bob, but like, I don't know. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. And I feel like, oh, see, you know, that scene where you see it a lot, where he's the DM, and you know, he's there and he's doing his like thing, like the welcome to the show type of thing. Yeah, that could have been perfect for like the magician, because he looked like a wizard there. He looked like a magician. I'm so sad. You know, if they make if they made, like, after the show was done, like an alternative cards, like, I don't know, like a pack of 10 to just replace some of these, I would buy them. I would totally buy them if they had Vecna and Eddie and like things from the other seasons. No, they'd probably just make another deck. Okay. Okay, now we're gonna go into the minor arcana. I have mixed feelings about the minor arcana. So the minor arcana, one, they changed all the suits, all the names of the suits, and usually they make sense. They don't really make any sense. I wonder if I can, like, I'm gonna try something. I don't know if this will work. Because I don't want to, like, just be like yelling about them. I'm gonna do this a different way, maybe. We'll see. Okay, so you can see all the suits here. We can just kind of talk a little bit about these suits. So we have strands, spokes, dice, and scoops. Is any of that intuitive to you? What the fuck those mean? I mean, I kind of thought strands, okay, wands, and that kind of makes sense to me. Now, when I was looking at it, I thought scoops, cups, right? That kind of makes sense. Scoops, cups, no. Scoops are pentacles. Spokes, which look like pentacles, are cups. And I thought that maybe that was a misprint. But then I read the descriptions, and I started to read, and I looked at the cards and everything. I'm like, no, these are definitely cups. These are definitely pentacles. And then dice are swords. I don't know where you get swords from dice. I understand the meaning behind it now that I've gone through the deck, why they chose what they chose. But when you're just looking through the deck, and if you're not very familiar with the show and everything, and like the show with its sort of nostalgic 80s type of aesthetic, it's confusing. It's really confusing. I still get confused with the scoops. I will say, out of each of these suits, I hate the scoops the most. I don't like what they did with the scoops, aka the pentacles. Okay, they are a little more than just a pip deck here. Some of them have more to it, and I'll show you those ones, but then some of them don't. And then some of them that seem like they don't have much to it, then I think about it and I read about it, and I'm like, okay, I see what they were trying to do there. But yeah, the scoops, there are like 4 cards in there that are just, it's just ice cream, dude. It's just ice cream. I'm like, this doesn't, yeah, you can try to spin it in any way that you want, but there's even a couple that look the fucking same. So we're gonna save scoops for last. I don't mind the spokes, aka the cups, is actually not that bad, with the meaning behind it, because the reason I think the spokes is because it's it's bicycle, and bicycles play sort of a bigger part in Stranger Things about these kids, and this is their mode of transportation, but it's how they come together, and it's how they they meet each other, how they see each other. They all ride on their bikes everywhere, and I'm like, okay, so the meaning behind that is they come together, and coming together, their friendship and all of that. And I'm like, okay, so that's what the spokes are symbolizing here. Also, there are 3 S's: strands, spokes, and scoops, and it's yeah, it gets confusing, not gonna lie. The strands, yeah, they're okay for wands, because wands a lot of time is represented by like fire, torches, matches, whatever. It's okay. I mean, that's probably the most similar one that you can kind of get, but they have some lazy cards in here too that I'm just like, really, like, you could have been yeah, you can't spin this anymore. They're kind of lazy. The dice ones I actually think are nice as well. So I like the dice and the spokes ones, because the dice ones have a lot of D&D type of imagery and references to it. I mean, because they're supposed to be about, I mean, a lot of it is more about how the party, the kids in Stranger Things, how they would face, you know, problems and stuff in their game of Dungeons and Dragons, because a lot of that they have to use their brains, right, to problem solve and all that. So I understand the meaning behind why you would have dice as swords. Okay, kind of makes sense. Okay, so let's just go through these. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, we'll start with the wands. So Ace of Wands. No, okay, all the aces, there's really nothing special. It's just the thing on the front. Here's the lazy cards. The Two of Strands. Now, okay, they're seemingly lazy. Here, I'll even show you. 2 of Strands, 3 of Strands. I'm like, it's just fucking lights. Now, if you look closely, they are in places. And I'm like, okay. So the Two of Strands is supposedly in the arcade, and it's supposed to sort of represent, I don't know, some sort of like, I mean, the Two of Strands is usually about, you know, choices, and like twos are usually about choices and stuff. It's a stretch, okay? And then the Three of Strands here, it's supposed to be on a street, and they talk about like the street light and, you know, stopping and waiting your turn, and I'm like, okay, whatever, that's a stretch here. Okay, those are a stretch. This is kind of a stretch too. The Four of Strands, it's the buyer's house, and it's supposed to be like, oh, it's very welcoming, and you know, like you feel like home, and it's all like everything's okay. And I'm like, does that look okay to you? I don't know, that just looks like ominous. So I don't know, I don't really get that one. Five of Strands. Okay, this one takes some thought. Okay. I mean, I get, like, it's really bright and it looks like there's a lot going on. So it's supposed to be in the upside down, and when you're in the upside down and you're faced with a lot of like problems and issues here, you can get out of those issues. You know, there's a lot of the strands, I would say, have to do with communicating, which is kind of odd for, I guess, a whole suit. I mean, the wands can have some communication because, you know, it's about doing things in action and all that. So yes, but it's very heavily based on communication, and because in the show, lights are used as a form of communication from people who are in the upside down to people who are not. So here, you know, this is about, you can try to fight through your problems with light, like, because it reminds me more in like season 4 when, you know, the older kids get stuck in the upside down and they use, you know, light bulbs. You know, that's how you can communicate with people in the other side, is by, you know, the light bulbs. I'm like, okay, I guess, but it is a stretch. Okay. Okay, here's one Erica here. See, some of them aren't so bad. Like, these are all lazy, right? They're very abstract. There's nothing going on. And then you get Erica. And I'm like, okay, Erica, 6 of Strands. I mean, I guess it is about accomplishing things that you set out to do. You know, she set out to go through the air ducts, and she did. She did what she was going to do. I feel like there are a lot of other examples of that in the show, and, you know, I don't know why, like, Erica's here, but this isn't the only instance of Erica. So I was like, we could have used other people. Okay, I think this might be one of my favorite cards, strand cards, but it's not obvious. Like, it's the 7 of Strands, but I got it right away because you can see it's Steve, Nancy, and Jonathan at the buyers. And the 7 of Strands is about standing up for yourself, defending yourself. And this is right, you know, before, when they were setting all those traps for the Demigorgon to fight the Demigorgon. They were getting ready for a fight here. So it's like, if you don't know the show, if you don't watch the show, or you don't remember the show, I'm like, are you going to remember this scene? I mean, it is a pretty iconic scene. There's a bit of, like, you can kind of see Steve with the bat, but not really. I'm like, I kind of wish, like, he had the bat, like, you could actually see the bat. It wasn't so subtle. But I mean, I get the meaning behind it. This one, dude, I saw this, the 8 of Strands, and I was like, okay, the 8 of Strands, is the Eight of Wands. And I'm like, how is this the Eight of Wands? It's just a ball of fucking lights. It's not, it doesn't look like it's moving anywhere. It doesn't look active or busy or anything. And then it took me a moment to realize, okay, so how Joyce her first way of communicating with Will was that she had this ball of lights that she had, you know, she was sitting in a cupboard and she was like communicating with him with this ball of lights. That was sort of the first way they were communicating. I'm like, okay, so this is about communication, and a lot of these are about communication. Nine of Strands, I mean, it looks pretty awesome. You know, it is another of defending yourself, you know, not giving up and all that. Sure, you can get that from it, but I mean, I think it looks cool. I do like the way the lights look. I will say that. So, okay, so where am I? 10 of Strands. This one was also a bit of a stretch. I mean, it's another Joyce. So she did, okay, no, she has two. Okay. Getting on them like, oh, there's only one Joyce. Okay, there's two. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just about her being very stressed out and having a lot on her shoulders with Will trying to communicate with him and everything. I mean, I guess, you know, there are many scenes in the show where that could apply there. Okay, sorry. And then we have the Page of Wands, Page of Strands. We've got a little Susie here. I think it's cute that she's in here and she's singing her little never-ending story song. I mean, I like this for her because it's all about somebody who's very bright-eyed and ready for adventure. And I mean, she doesn't really know what's going on, though. But she does have a curious mind, and I get that. I get that with her. Fucking Argyle. That's why I was like, dude, there's like season 4 shit. Like, you know, try before you deny. Like, I'm a little disappointed. Like, I wanted to see. That doesn't look like there's pineapple on that pizza. There should have been pineapple on that pizza. It doesn't look like it. I can't really tell. I mean, if there is, you'd have to look really closely. I mean, I like it for him having, you know, being in here. I like that he's in the deck. But how is Argyle in here and Eddie's not? Like, are we serious about that? I cannot believe that Netflix did not know that. Oh, we didn't realize that everybody was going to like Eddie. And I'm like, dude, when you put out the trailers, you showed a snippet of a dude on top of something, you know, rocking out, like, and like with his hair and everything on the guitar. And I'm like, how did you not think people, like, I remember seeing that trailer and I was like, who is that? I'm like, what is that? Where is that scene? I can't wait to watch that scene. Anyways, travesty. Okay, we have another Nancy card. Queen of Wands. Yeah, it makes sense. She's confident. She's popular. King of Strands. It's Bob, but it's like a picture of Bob that, you know, Will drew after, you know. So this one stumps me a little. I'm not gonna lie. I feel, I mean, I know there's a lot of Steve in the deck. They could have put Steve here. They could have put fucking Hopper here. I think Hopper would have been better here. Yeah, I actually think Hopper probably would have been way better here. I don't know. This was a weird choice. Not like even the way they explained it. How did they explain it? Because I don't even remember. It was such a weird choice. Bob Newby, superhero. Is there anything this king can't do? Oh, there's a couple things. It can't do. This card brings help right when you need it. A reliable friend, a trusted leader, and someone to remind you everything's going to be okay. Like, they're making him sound like he was like a big leader and all that. I mean, sort of. I mean, yeah, he was brave. I guess that's the thing. He was brave. But I think Hopper fits this better. I think Hopper should have been the King of Strands. And he's only the Emperor. He doesn't have any other travesty. Okay. Let's go to one of the sort of better ones. We'll go to the spokes. Ace of Spokes. Yeah, it's just an ace card. Nice. It's kind of abstract, but yeah, this was when I was like, are these supposed to be pentacles or are they cups and all that? But, you know, this is about, you know, two people together on a bike together, being, you know, in union. I'm like, okay, I get it. And then we have the three of spokes here. All the bikes out here on a fall day. You know, you see your friends. You're on your bikes, you just leave them on the lawn, and you go inside and you hang out. And they went inside, they hung out, they played D&D. I'm like, yeah, makes sense. Imagery makes sense here. This one's a little Four of spokes. It's about, it's supposed to be like, I'm not interested in playing hopscotch or whatever. I mean, I don't really get that from the imagery here. But it's supposed to be like, I'm not interested in doing that. I don't know. I feel like they could have done something here with Max. Maybe. I don't know. Five of spokes here. It took me a little bit to notice that the tires on, I think it's the tire. Yeah, the tires on the bike are deflated here. I was like, oh, okay. So it's like you wanted something to work out. You wanted to go somewhere. But, you know, it got, you know, it's deflated and you were deflated and you couldn't do it. I mean, okay, I get it. It's okay. Okay, this is like one of my favorite. They should have all of them like this. Alexi. I mean, I saw it and I was like, oh, it's Alexi. And then I thought, wait, this is supposed to be the Six of Cups. I'm like, does that make sense? And then I realized, oh, wait, the feeling that I got when I saw this, I was like, oh, remember Alexi? I'm like, oh, poor guy. I'm like, oh. And then I'm like, you know, that's exactly I think what they were going for. That's what I mean. I think that if you're not a fan of the show, or like you don't really remember like people, like characters from the show, like when you see this, it doesn't really invoke, you know, that feeling. But, you know, if you have and you're like, oh wait, it's Alexi, oh, and it you know, you get these memories of him. And yeah, I mean, I like it, but I don't feel like I'm not saying you can't use the deck if you don't like Stranger Things. I just don't think you would get a lot out of it unless you just like the imagery. But I'm gonna be honest, some of it's lazy. We have the Seven of Spokes here. It's, you know, it's a wheel, it's a cloud wheel. I mean, yeah, it's about your head in the clouds and everything, imagining things, but it's not, you know, like, look at the comparison, like the amount of work that this one versus this one. I'm like, yeah, okay. But I do appreciate that they're not all like this, okay? So, yeah, Eight of Spokes. Yeah, I didn't really know what scene this was until I read it, and it's supposed to apparently be around, it doesn't look like it. They should have put the Starcourt Mall in the background, because, I mean, the flavor text is about 11 when she dumps Mike. She's like, I dump your ass, right? And I'm like, yeah, she's moving on and everything. So I you know, she chose that. So I think that would have been better to have some sort of imagery, because there were bikes in the back. They all rode their bikes to the mall. So they should have had maybe the bikes from the mall there, maybe to reinforce that, because it looks so similar to this. Like this is the 8 and this is the 9. I mean, it looks very similar. The 9 of Spokes here. I mean, it is a shining, the bike is really shiny. You can't really tell, but it's got some shiny spots on it. And I guess it's supposed to be like, oh, look at the bike. Oh, I'm like, okay, whatever. 10 of Spokes. Interesting. I mean, it's technically Max, and it's supposed to be about how everything just comes together. I kind of would have liked it just to be like all of the kids together, you know, just kind of having fun and hanging out, just all of them. I think that would have been better than just this. But I mean, they could have just all been on their bikes, and she could have been on her skateboard or something. All right, we have the Page of Spokes. We have Jonathan here. This is like his only sort of solo. It makes a lot of sense, Jonathan, you know, being kind of it is a bit of a romantic, but I mean, he does make sense for the Page of Cups here. You know, he's got a crush on Nancy, and yeah, it makes sense. And this also makes sense. We have Steve Harrington as the Knight of Spokes, the Knight of Cups here. This is like when his hair is all like, you know, the way his hair is. I think this is like when he was about to try to apologize to Nancy here. It would have been better if he had the flowers in his hand that he had in the scene, but I'm pretty sure this was when he was about to go apologize to Nancy, and you know, that's what a Knight of Cups would do. We have the Queen of Cups here. We have 11 here using her powers. So she's using her powers. So, you know, you can say that her intuitive powers here. She's also kind of emotional here as well. So this makes sense to me. And then we have the King of Spokes here. We have another Will card. Yeah, I get it. I mean, Will here is about, you know, the King of Cups can be sensitive because, you know, he keeps his feelings inside. Here, he doesn't really let them out. I was just thinking they should have had the scene where Will is like, he pours his heart out to Mike, and then Mike's just like, yeah, but like me and Elle and everything, and he just, you know, Will looks out in the window and he starts crying, and Mike just is like fucking clueless. I mean, it's not funny, but I think that yeah, okay, that probably would have been fine. Okay, dice. Again, the dice have a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, which is nice. I mean, here it's thematic with the show. You know, this is you know, 2 of dice, you know, crossroads, making a choice, which way should we go. You know, it's all about, a lot of it is about if they were playing D&D or Dungeons and Dragons, like what would the party, what would, you know, the core people, like what would they be doing. Should have had Eddie in this deck. I can't. We have the 3 of dice here. Yeah, I mean, it is, you know, pain, you know, when you die, when your character dies in D&D, it's like, depending on how the DM is and everything, like, yeah, you probably have to start over, and it's just painful. We have the 4 of dice here. You know, it's a rest, or, you know, taking a break here. Again, a lot of it has to do with D&D. So, I mean, it doesn't really have a lot to do with Stranger Things, as you can see, but D&D has a lot to do with Stranger Things. So a lot of the imagery are just kind of like, I guess, scenes that would be in the D&D game. 5 of dice here. This one's a little, I mean, it has the same meaning as the 5 of swords. It's just, it's a little more abstract than I would have liked. 6 of dice, 6 of swords. Is there water? I don't know. It says here there be monsters. I mean, the description of it, I remember, is like when the party is in a difficult situation, you know, how do they get out of it? They get out of it by using their brains, you know, by thinking logically and problem solving and all of that. I mean, that's what this is about. It's okay. Again, doesn't have a lot to do with Stranger Things. It's more about if the characters, the kids in the show, were playing Dungeons and Dragons. 7 of dice. I mean, I don't even get this. Even the description just is like, I don't even understand. Like, whatever. I mean, it's not like, it looks nice, but I don't really get a lot of meaning. Maybe as I use it, it might come to me a bit more. But this one, because the 7 of swords is about, you know, being secretive, being sneaky, you know, lying, deceptive, and I don't really get that from this. The 8 of dice. I remember when I saw this, I didn't understand it, and then I read the thing and it made more sense. Let me see. What did it say? The 8 of dice. It says this card represents a phase where you are letting the rules of the game dictate your every move in a way that restricts your anatomy. If you don't like what you're doing, this is a challenge to figure out how to separate yourself from it. Why are you so committed to something that makes you so unhappy? Okay. Because I'm like, it's Steve Harrington, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is not a scene in the show. Now, this would be something if this was something in the next season, but this is not a scene in the show, with all these people here. But I guess it's supposed to be like he's kind of, he feels restricted in his life, that, you know, that people expect him to be a certain way. I don't know. It's a bit of a stretch here. I don't know. Maybe it will become more clear. But I do appreciate that it, you know, there's something on it, right? There's something going on here. We have the 9 of dice. This one's not too bad. It seems kind of weird, but it is supposed to be like the upside down and having a lot of problems and feeling really anxious, like when you're dealing with the upside down and, you know, being stressed out and like having it to think about what to do next all the time. So I mean, yeah, okay, fine. And then we have the 10 of dice, which I guess is supposed to be like a mini little demigorgon thing, or it's not demigorgon, it's the I just forgot, what do they call him? The shadow guy, like, dude, I remembered so much from the show, now I can't remember like what the main big guy is here. What does it say? I don't think it... I mean, it's just really about when you feel like you've lost the game. Like when you've come up to a foe that is so powerful and you just feel like, you know, I've lost. There's no way I can beat this. Yeah. It would have been nice if it wasn't like in the little sort of D&D figurine, but I mean, I get it. It's got to stay within the suit. All right. And we have the page of dice. Again, another will. There's a lot of will buyers in this deck, and I don't know. I think that there doesn't need to be that much will in here. There's more will in this deck than in the show. Okay, so yeah, he's here as the page of dice. I mean, I get it. He's the one who always wants to play D&D anyway, so it makes sense that he would be in one of these. The Knight of Dice. We have, what's her name? Kali? I want to say her name's Kali. Kali and her misfits here. I mean, this actually makes sense for her being the Knight of Dice, the Knight of Swords here, because she's quite impulsive in her actions, and she can be quite forceful, ruthless, and just rushes into things. I mean, her whole sort of story arc was that she just rushed into things. She didn't even think about the consequences of her actions a lot of times. So that makes a lot of sense there. Queen of Dice here. We have... I feel like I missed something. No. Okay, never mind. No. I forgot. There's a whole other suit. I thought it was like done. The Queen of Dice. We have Max. I'll be honest, I didn't really get this one as for Max, the Queen. I mean, I get her as a character being the Queen of Swords because she can be quite direct. I mean, I'm all for having more Max in the deck, but again, like, there's a lot of Max in this deck. I'm like, there are other characters. And then this, the King of Dice, the King of Swords, Victor Creel. I was like, what the fuck? This was fucking like season 4. This is spoilers. I can't even use the deck without like saying, oh, there could be spoilers. I mean, it makes sense on what it says about him. Sort of. I think that they probably should have put... I think they should have put him probably as the 8 of dice. And then they should have put what was his name? Vecna's name. Whatever. Vecna before he was Vecna here. I know that would be spoilers and all, but they really should have put him, whatever, Jamie Campbell Bower there. But like, because, I don't know. What does it say here? It says, Victor Creel was the victim of unchecked power, leaving him wrongfully accused and imprisoned for crimes he didn't commit. Okay, so it's not what he did. It's, you know, people around, like society. And I'm like, I don't know. That's kind of a stretch here for me, for him to be in this position. I think it would have been better if they put him, you know, in one of restriction, of feeling restricted, like the 8 of swords, 8 of dice. But I mean, I'm glad that he's in here, because I'm all for having, like, you know, season 4 people here. But is it season 4 or is it season 5? I get mixed up on what season's what. The latest season. Because I just realized I keep saying season 4. I'm like, am I right? Like, am I counting right? Like, I don't know. Math is hard. Okay, scoops. The fucking scoops. This will go by real quick because they are atrocious. I mean, this one's actually not bad. For me to say this one's not that bad, you can imagine. 2 of scoops, you know, okay, it took me a moment to realize that they're balancing the ice cream cones on their fingers. I'm like, yeah, okay, haha, balancing stuff. And I mean, scoops makes sense in a, like, as a whole for the suit, because pentacles are about material things, right? It can be about like your life, and, you know, scoops is about Steve and Robin. You know, they work at Scoops. This is their job, their summer job. And, you know, I understand a lot of Pentacles, you know, it's about working on things, just working, either working at your job or just working things out, like, you know, work. So, yeah, okay, I get it from that aspect. We have the 3 of scoops here. I mean, I get it. The boat, it's supposed to be, I mean, I like that they have the Scoops Ahoy boat. I mean, I think it's cute and everything. I don't think that's what it looked like on the show, though. I think it, like, looked a lot better than this. I don't think that's an accurate representation of what it actually looks like. But, you know, it goes a little far in being like, hey, it's like we're stretching this into that this is like cooperating and working together. And I'm like, I guess you do need more than one person to row a ice cream boat, I guess. And then we have the 4 of scoops. I don't even know what this is. It's like, okay, I mean, yeah, it's like putting all your scoops into one basket, I guess. I don't know. And then the 5 of scoops. It's not terrible, you know, you put all the ice cream in, you scoop it out, and you're ready to give it to the customer, and then fucking the cone cracks in your hand, and it's just like, wow, can nothing go my way? I suck. You know, it's all, you know, it's all that energy there. But okay, this is when it starts to get a little 6 of scoops. I get it. We're sharing is caring and all that. It doesn't really look like sharing, though, but because I know it's supposed to be about being generous and sharing, it would have been better if it was 2 people. Like, if somebody had both of the ice creams and they were giving it to somebody instead of them both having it. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, if they both have it, it's equality and all that. I don't know. It's okay. 7 of scoops. I have no fucking clue. 8 of scoops. I don't know. 9 of scoops. What the fuck? Like, these 3, they're just like the 1, 2, 3 of Strands. What is this? It's lazy is what it is. They barely look different. I mean, I appreciate that they look slightly different, but it has nothing to do with anything. The 7 of scoops? Like, what does that have to do with, like, you know, waiting for, you know, the fruits of your labor to come in and give you rewards and benefits and all that? It has nothing to do with that. What does the 8 of scoops here have anything to do with putting effort and work into something? I don't see that there. They could have just been doing their fucking job and showing it on there. What is this night? The Nine of Scoops here. This is Nine of Scoops. You know, it's about, you know, enjoying yourself. You know, you treat yourself, enjoying. You know, you put in the work, and now you get to enjoy the benefits of that. It's just ice cream, but it doesn't look any different than the other ones. Lazy. And we have the 10 of Scoops. I mean, it's funny, I guess. You know, it's got Steve on it, and I mean, it's kind of funny. It's like, okay, you got your ice cream, but like, it doesn't really make any sense. Here we got Erica with a page of Scoops. I mean, I think that she's fine here. I think that she makes sense here, and because it is somebody here who she is innocent, even though she has a big mouth and everything. You know, she is quite young. She still doesn't know what's going on. You know, she just kind of goes along with it. She goes along with what people are saying. I mean, she's still young. She has a lot of questions a lot of time. A lot of times in the show, she's just like, what are you talking about? Can somebody clue me in, kind of thing? Because, you know, she doesn't have the experience that the other kids and the other characters have. I mean, she gains more experience, obviously, as she's become more a part of the sort of core group. But, you know, she is still left out a lot. Even in the latest season, you know, she spends a lot of time really at home. She's not, like not at home, but like with her parents and everything. She's not with like Lucas and all that all the time. Only like near the end, you know, when she gets more included. But for like the first half of it, not really. It's only when everybody comes together at the buyer's house, and then when the older kids are in the upside down and they're communicating together and Erica's there, that she gets clued into what's going on. But she doesn't know what's going on until like halfway through the show. So I mean, I get it. I mean, I think that makes sense for her, for the page of Pentacles here, page of Scoops. And then we have the Knight of Scoops, Robin. I love that there's a Robin. I was like getting like worried. I'm like, where's Robin? Like, excuse me. She's a big character on the show. It took me a moment to like for this. I was like, okay, Knight of Scoops, Knight of Pentacles for Robin. But you know, it's here because she worked really hard to figure out, you know, the translation, the Russian secret spy message. And, you know, she took her time and she figured it out. And, you know, I appreciate this, you know. Okay, I can see that for Robin here. It makes sense. So we have the Queen of Scoops, the Queen of Pentacles here, with Mrs. Wheeler. Mrs. Wheeler at the swimming pool. I was like, wait, okay. You know, I understand, like, what does it say? I'll even explain it. Because it does make sense. It just took me aback. As it says, Karen Wheeler is a queen who knows how to leverage her gifts. She represents the importance of domestic work, caring for your family, using your experiences to impart wisdom, and making choices in the best interest of everyone you love. I mean, okay, yeah, I get that. I mean, because she is a mother, and yeah, okay, the Queen of Pentacles, and you know, she is, aside from Joyce, she's the only other mother of the kids that you see that is really like active, like on the show, and like seeing that she's trying to, you know, that she stands up for her kids. She doesn't know what's going on, but you can tell like she cares, and she cares about her family. So I get that. And then we have the King of Scoops. We have another Steve. I told you there's a lot of Steve in here. So if you're a fan of Steve, lots of Steve. I mean, this is just about how he works hard, pretty much. I mean, yeah, I can see him. King of Scoops, King of Pentacles there. It all makes sense. So overall, the deck, you know, I do like it. Quality of the cards, it's okay. I mean, I like that it's okay. I'll say that I like that it's not too flimsy and it's not too thick. So it is it's pretty good cardstock. I don't know how well it will last. I mean, for me personally, I like it. The back is okay. It's not reversible. I mean, I know some people care about that. I don't really care whether it is or not. But yeah, it doesn't have a reversible back. I will say, it's not just my camera. It is kind of blurry. Okay. The outside is kind of blurry. It's not just my camera. That's just the way it looks. So the back could be better. This could be better. I don't mind the border too much. I mean, I don't particularly really like bordered cards. I don't like when the border's like too overbearing. I have exceptions to that, but the ends here, I'm always looking at, like, so far, every time I look at it, I keep thinking that there's, like, it's coming up on the ends. So I could see how, as I use the deck, that might get a little bit annoying, as I might keep thinking that the deck is more worn out than it actually is. I mean, maybe that's on purpose, because when the deck does get worn out, it's still going to look good, because it'll still look like it was intended. The book, I mean, it's a decent book. Like I said, it has some tarot readings in it. They're okay. A lot of the tarot readings are really, the samples are, I mean, I think it's interesting that the first tarot spread in here is for getting to know the deck. You know, how you're going to use the deck, how the deck's going to help you, and everything. I think that is interesting here. I'm surprised, like, they don't really have any, like, upside down type of spreads. There's only, what, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 spreads. I mean, one of them's just a 3-card spread. This one's not too bad. This is more about trying to figure out conflict resolution, and this is kind of like a really simple cross. It would have been better if they just made it a cross, but I mean, it's okay. The deck is fine. You know, I don't think that I'll return it. I was thinking about it, but as I was using it, I found that, like, I don't know, it looks really nice to use. So I'll probably use it as I get more used to it. I'll use it soon, but in my readings, I think it's really nice to use, and, like, it looks really nice, and I don't know, I find that when I'm using it, I get more value out of it. Even though, I don't know, even though it's got some, like, weird pips in it that I'm just like, you know, it could be better. And I'm still mad that there's no Vecna or Eddie in it. That's just annoying. But yeah, anyways, talk about an hour for a fucking deck. I mean, thanks for watching if you, like, stuck around to listen to me talk for an hour about a fucking deck. I'm not doing this often. It's just because I really like Stranger Things and I had thoughts about this deck. That's the only reason. I'm not going to do this for, like, every deck. It's only if I feel very strongly about a deck that I would, but I thought, you know, why not? So thank you for watching. Yeah, I recommend, if you like Stranger Things, get the deck. It's not very beginner friendly though, but I will say I really like the guidebook. The guidebook is pretty good, but I feel you need to have a good base knowledge of tarot. It's not going to teach you how to use tarot. I'll put it that way. It won't teach you, and it's not going to give you basic meanings, and there aren't, like, any like, keywords or anything like that here. So if you haven't watched the show, and if you're not familiar with the show, and you're not super familiar with tarot, you're gonna struggle. I'll tell you that now. You will struggle because of the unconventional naming, because of the unconventional way some of the cards are shown here. Like, you know, you have to know the characters to really get some of the meaning if you're not familiar with the meanings that they give you in the book. Yes, they give you, you know, they give you a meaning in relation to the show. So if you don't know the scene that they're talking about, then you might not understand really what's going on with that card. So I do not think it's beginner friendly, but if you are starting out and you have a good base knowledge, of the meanings of tarot and you like or are a fan of Stranger Things, then yeah, I mean, I would say it would be fine. As long as, you know, as long as you can get over the fact that there's no Vecna or Eddie, then yeah, and the fact that there is a lot of Steve and a lot of Erica and Will and Max. If those aren't your favorite characters, then yeah, if Hop is your favorite character, you will be disappointed. So okay. That's all I gotta say about this deck. Thanks again for watching. I'm gonna stop rambling on about this deck. I'll probably continue to talk about it as I use it in videos, guaranteed. You'll probably be so sick of me talking about it and be like, Alice, stop using the Stranger Things deck, please. But thank you for watching, and I will be putting up actually quite a few readings this week. I have more readings planned this week than I intended. I will be finishing up the What's Next in Love readings. There is a Mercury retrograde reading I'll probably do sometime. There is the full moon reading, and then the regular sort of weekend reading coming up. So lots of readings. I don't know why I have so many readings. I'm also going to try to figure out something maybe with my setup. I don't know. That's a big maybe if it works. I'm really trying to set it, like, wanting to do it before Mercury goes full into retrograde, because it's not going to be fun to try to do it then, but it's probably not a great idea to do it now either, but yeah, okay. Anyways. I'm gonna shut up now. All right. Take care. Good luck with whatever's going on. I know I said I was going to do a reading. I don't think, you know, this is long enough. There's plenty of readings. Plenty of readings are going to come up here. If you enjoy this, this isn't really what I normally do, but if you would like some free readings on the channel, I encourage you to subscribe. You can like and share if you would like that. I appreciate that. That helps me do more with the channel. If you want to know when I post new readings up, you can try to hit the notification bell button. Not guaranteed to work, but you know, it might. And yeah, thank you. Thank you for tuning in and watching and everything. I don't know. I'm getting a little loopy. All right, take care. Good luck, and I will talk to you later.